it wasn't really written in a way that was psychological or thriller to me. And also, I mean, that's my genre, that's my wheelhouse, right? So I read a lot of thrillers and psychological thrillers and things like that. So this one to me just didn't really make that cut. To me, this is more of a mystery. What up, everybody? It's your girl Sherry's Joy, and welcome to another episode of Bookmarked. This week, I read The Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent, and I am going to discuss my thoughts on this particular book. Have you read this book? Please let me know in the comments if you read this book, because I would really love to discuss this book with you on the sidelines, because I can't do any spoilers here because this is a spoiler-free review. I do appreciate all of you and your support and all of your likes. Please keep on watching and liking and subscribing and spreading the love. I appreciate it. I love it very much. I am always happy to bring awesome content. I am an avid reader. I love reading and I love discussing my thoughts on reading books. So this book, The Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent. When I first started reading this book, I was like, what in the world? This just reminded me of The Village, the movie by M. Night Shyamalan, because you start off, it's like, okay. So we meet Ren and Sage. Ren and Sage. Ren is 18, Sage is 17 years old, and it takes place in Stillwater Forest or something. It's in New York. And I guess it's like upstate New York. So it's called Stillwater. And they're in like this forest, right? This like secluded area. They're in a cabin and they are like alone and they are searching for food. You know, they have food and whatever. They're living off of potatoes and like goat milk. So they have a younger sister, Evie, who is sick, and their mother has been gone. I think it was like 75 days when we first opened with this book. The mother's been gone for 75 days. She's taken Evie to go get some medical help because Evie is like really, really sick. So it's been 75 days. She has not returned. And Ren is like, it's been 75 days and mom hasn't returned. Oh my goodness. And, so they're like fending for themselves. And then Sage and you kind of really get a feel for just how secluded they are and how they are living, because Sage is like, I have to go to the bathroom. They had closed up everything for the night, and Sage is like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm here thinking like Sage is like, I don't know, a kid, like little, like 9 or 10 or 8 or something. And Ren is like, really? Like, I just locked up. And she's like, I can't hold it, Ren, I gotta go. So they go to the outhouse. They go to an outhouse. So I was like, okay, clearly we're not in today's time. How is this working? So they go to the outhouse, they come back, and so then they go to sleep and everything. And then you kind of like learn more about the atmosphere. Like they are churning butter and they're living off potatoes and stuff like that. And we kind of learn that by this man. He comes into the cabin, like he's been watching them, and he comes into the cabin and they're like, the girls are terrified, and they're like, he's like trying to, is your mother like Mary Harper? And Ren is clearly running the show, and she's like, no, and she's like got like a good poker face going, and the guy is like really trying to like get down to like what's going on. Meanwhile, Ren and Sage are like terrified of this dude, like what's gonna happen, why is he here? He's like, do you have any food? Like, I've been in the woods and and I need food. And they're like, well, okay, so if you let us go out, we can get some goat milk. And the chickens probably have 1 or 2 eggs that hatched overnight and all this other stuff. So that's how we kind of like, we get a real feel for what's going on environment wise. Meanwhile, we meet Nicolette and Brant, and they are in the city. They were in the city, and Brant is like a photographer, some sort of like artist, and we first meet them, they're at like a gallery thing, like this big whole Met Gala type thing, and we think it, and Nicolette thinks that Brent might be cheating on her, but then we learn that he's, not cheating, because we learn that the person that she thinks he's cheating with is not interested in men. And so, yeah, so it's like, well, something's going on. Like they're kind of like married, but they're also kind of like just married, like to be married. It seems like you can clearly tell that something's happening between the two of them, that, where did this go wrong? Like they're not doing things together. He's like, she's distant, he's distant. And it's just like, okay, well, what's happening here? And we find out exactly why, obviously, later in the book, that I'm not going to spoil. And then meanwhile, so that's what's going on there. And then we have Ren and Sage, who are like, they're like, okay, well, we got to escape this dude. Like, come on, we're gonna like drug him and then escape with his backpack, because he had like a backpack with a cell phone and like some other stuff. And of course, they don't know what these things are. So it's like really funny hearing how they're calling it like this little metal square that's shiny and says on or whatever like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really funny. So they escape and they actually run into some help. They get some help, and obviously the help is Nicolette, and she's helping them, and they're trying to figure things out. And then as we learn, we learn that they were, kind of like, we're just learning things. And then, so then the book becomes about, well, where's the mother? Where's Evie? What's going on? So so Nicolette is great. She kind of like takes them in while they look for the mother, and until then, until that happens, and then I'm gonna like stop it there, because I don't want to spoil anything. It's hard to not spoil anything. So I came across this book. I was kind of iffy on it. I was like, I don't know if this is something that I would really be into, and I read it in a couple of days. Now it's 246 pages, so it is a very short read. And that's why, I read it like so quickly, but it keeps you entertaining. It keeps you entertained. I was in the books, or I was in the pages. I could literally see everything that was going on. I've never read anything by this author. I don't know anything about this author. There wasn't much written about her at the end of the book. I was definitely engaged. I was not per se on my seat on the edge of my seat, right? So this is written as an actual thriller. And I did see some that it was like a psychological thriller. To me, this was more of a mystery, maybe with a slight action, just because there is a scene where they're like, or chapter or scene, whatever, where they're like running through the woods. They're like, and they're like barefoot and everything. And they're in like their, I don't know, 16th century shift and stuff like that, just running through the woods. And you're kind of like, okay, who is this guy? But I was also getting vibes that he wasn't there to hurt them, because if he was, he wouldn't be worried about food. Or, if he was going to hurt them, he's going to hurt them already. And then in one scene where he was going to hurt them, I was like, yeah, but I don't know. So I wasn't under the impression that he was going to hurt them. So it wasn't really written in a way that was psychological or thriller to me. And also, I mean, that's my genre, that's my wheelhouse, right? So I read a lot of thrillers and psychological thrillers and things like that. So this one, to me, just didn't really make that cut. To me, this is more of a mystery, maybe suspense, but I think it was more of a mystery, like trying to solve a puzzle. Like, why are they out in the middle of the forest living, like this is Anne of the Green Gables, or, living like the village, or, this is like weird, and then you have modern day things happening, and it's like, okay. So yeah, it was more like a puzzle, like a mystery, like where's the mother type of thing, it wasn't psychological or thriller to me. Now, as I was trying to say, like, I did read in the pages, right? I was in there. I could feel their feelings when it was time to run. I could feel like their I don't know, tense moments. And then when there was a heartfelt moment, I was like, oh. And and I hit all of the emotions that you were supposed to feel for the characters, I felt that. I just didn't feel scared reading the book. But again, it takes a lot to scare me because it's my wheelhouse. So, anyways, I rated this book a 4.5, and I rated it a 4.5 because it was short, and I felt like this could have been a longer story. I feel like also the plot line could have been a little bit more on the thriller side, or even on the thriller side, because it wasn't, right? It's written as a thriller. It wasn't a thriller to me, but it was written very well, and I did enjoy the book. And I would definitely check out another book from this author again. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and what did I like about this book? I liked that it kept me engaged. I liked that the characters, had the ending that they had. I liked the ending. I liked the beginning. I liked the middle. I liked the ending. So it was definitely a good book. I liked Nicolette, and I liked her storyline, and I like where that went. And I like, the outcome of everything. I just wish that it was a longer plot, or whatever you want to say, a little bit more explanation in it. Now, what I didn't like about it is, I mean, the fact that it was short is fine. It was fine. And the fact that I did not like the, how do you say, I didn't like finding out the reason why these girls were in the woods. I didn't like the reason behind that, and I didn't like how they got there and why. And I didn't like that the explanation of that wasn't enough for me. It just didn't sit right with me. I felt like it could have been explained more. I don't Now it wasn't terrible or anything like that. I just, as far as like the plot goes, like, because it was short, I get it, right? This is a short story, a shorter story, shorter novel, I guess. So I get why it was like straight to the point, you know but I feel just I don't know if I'm not supposed to like it on purpose because that's what the author wants, or if I just didn't like it because I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to kind of like figure that out. So it could be a good thing. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not discrediting anybody. This was very well written. It very much did keep me engaged and entertained. And like I said, yes, I will read another book from Minka Kent, definitely, for sure. I will check those out, and review it, because I want a 5. I love reading books that are 5s. This was a 4.5, so this was almost a 5 for me. So I definitely recommend it. I want you to read it. I really do. I want someone to read this book so that I can discuss with you, because it's like, was I supposed to feel this way? Is this what's really happening here? Did this make you feel this way as well? So I would really love to discuss this with someone. So if you've read this book, let me know, and I would love to discuss it. If you haven't read this book, read it if you're a reader, and let me know. And if you want to just know, you don't feel like you're going to read it, but you just kind of want to know what's going on, let me know that as well. I do appreciate all of you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. And I thank you so much for watching and listening. And, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you know anyone that could benefit from this review or any of my other reviews, please check those out. Please let me know. And share the love, spread love. I am Sherry's Joy. You can find me on Instagram at BookMarkedSJ. You can find me on Blue Sky at Sherry's Joy. You can find me right here on YouTube at BookMarkedSJ. I am half of the DigiKast, so you can find the DigiKast on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube at the DigiKast. And thank you again for watching. Thank you for your love and support. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share the word. Love the world. I'm thriving this year.
You do that.
And outtake.
First you sneezing, then you knocking the fan.
It's Monday. It's not even Monday. It's Sunday. All right.